Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey, and you're listening to the Box
No,
Officer
you can say your own name.
Oh, I'm kind of nervous.
I think you'll do fine. I can always do the intro. That's what I planned to do originally. It's up to you.
Okay, I'm ready. Hi everyone, I'm Kennedi, and you're listening to the Box Officers Podcast. Dun dun. Thank you all for tuning in. Please continue to support us. Kelsey!
Okay, just I'm fine. Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Kennedi, and you're listening to the Box Officers Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Please continue to support us by leaving us a star rating and review wherever you're listening to this episode. Watching a bad movie is like witnessing a serious crime, but have no fear, the box officers are here. Each episode, Georgette, J-Pat, and Kelsey will review a new movie, and at the end of each episode, we'll classify the film according to the severity of punishment. Films can be convicted of a felony, a misdemeanor, an infraction, or on the rare occasion, found innocent. Now, without further ado, the moment you've all been waiting for. This week, I'm here with our special guest, Kennedi. Wait, what do I say?
Yeah, okay. This week I'm here with our special guest Kennedy. And we are going to be reviewing the movie After the Hunt. So if you have not seen it yet, you're going to want to pause this episode now, go watch it because there's going to be a lot of spoilers. Otherwise, let's get into the episode. If you haven't noticed already, Georgette and J-Pat are not here. I'm here with Kennedi, our special guest of the week. Kennedi, thank you
Woo!
for coming in. Yeah.
Thanks,
I love
Kelsey. Happy to be here.
Okay. Okay. Um, do you know why you're here?
Well, I feel like it's pretty simple. I saw the movie.
That's true. But there's a little more to it. So I went to see this movie with Kennedi, and
Oh, yeah.
we realized that we had some really strong feelings about it. And so I thought, hey, why not review this movie with her? And Georgette and J-Pat get the week off, and we'll just, we'll do this one together since we had some really, really strong opinions about it. So After the Hunt originally released in theaters a while ago, but it just released again on Amazon Prime, so it's available for you guys to go stream. I don't even know where we should start. Perhaps with the cast?
So this movie features a star-studded cast: Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield, Ayo Edebiri, Chloe Sevigny, and Michael Stuhlbarg.
This is true. I love, like, the hard part is I love these people. And so anything that's said after this point, it's nothing to them. I will say this though, they might have been the only good part of the movie for me.
Because this movie did not love them back.
Well, yeah, you're so dramatic, bro. We did not ask her to talk this way, bro. Like, I just want to make it very clear to whoever's listening to this. We did not make her have this persona. She's doing this on her own. Yeah.
You know, a little razzle dazzle never hurts anybody.
Well, I concur. So yeah, I feel like it was a smaller cast, but that was good. And I think that they all did the best with what they had at the time. And sometimes that's all you can do. Give it your best effort. So, this movie is basically about a college professor, so Julia Roberts, finding herself at kind of a personal and professional crossroad when a star student, who is Ayo, levels an accusation against one of Julia Roberts' colleagues. That's Andrew Garfield. And she kind of that's kind of threatening to expose secrets from her past as well. And so I like to start off on a positive note Is there anything that you really liked about the movie?
The acting, I think they had their delivery was very good, but also the message of the movie. I feel like it shares something that is so important. It hits on sexual assault, potential power imbalance. So I think the topic, very important. It needed to be made. It needs to be shared. But those were the highlights for me.
Okay, very good. I agree. I It's not the topic itself. Well, we're supposed to be positive. What did I like? I also agree with the fact that the I liked the acting. Um I think the idea is fascinating and I understand the significance of having such themes and messages that I think are also important. And so I think they did a very good job of brainstorming. People had ideas that were important, and it's always great to have important ideas about important topics. Um, hmm.
Um, yeah, that was pretty much it for me.
Well, let's just get into the meat of the episode, shall we? Um,
Dun dun.
yeah. So, what didn't we like about this movie? That's really why we're here today. That's really why Georgette and JPET are not here. I normally, we all kind of pick movies here and there, but a lot of times it'll be something I recommend. And this was on our list to review a while ago. And I literally, in good faith, could not allow them to go pay their money to go watch this.
No, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things, it tried so hard to prove that the characters are smart and so philosophical that at some points it was very hard to follow.
Yeah.
For example, I believe it was at the dinner scene or maybe later in the movie, they were talking about, I believe, a philosopher who had talked about men and women. I'm sure there was some significance to that, but because I could not understand the philosophies that they were explaining, I could not fully grasp that in relation to it being significant to the movie.
Yeah, I feel like that happened a few times where they're like trying to talk and sound smart and it's just like you're trying too hard. There's no nuance to this film. They said, "We're going to show you everything and we're going to spell it out for you." When in reality, like you could have just like the fact that they are professors in and of itself like is enough to communicate to me as somebody watching the movie that like they're intelligent and they're successful people. I can reasonably assume you can paint a picture for me of someone who has reached success and should be happy but isn't happy without me watching like multiple like Socratic seminars. Like I don't need that. And there was only one time where I felt like it really added to the overall theme or like supported the plot and helped moved it forward. But a lot of times, if you're having a scene and it's not moving the storyline along, then it's not necessary. And some of those debates went on way too long. This movie in total was 2 hours and 19 minutes. If you cut down those, we could have gotten it to be a 90-minute movie. And that's what it should have been. Like, and I couldn't
Yeah.
understand. I am not a professor of whatever it is that they teach. I can't understand. I couldn't understand it. And it annoyed me because I'm like, I feel like 30 minutes of that movie was me like learning something on a PhD level that I've never had any teaching on. So it's like I can't even follow the conversation and I don't even think I'm dumb. It'd be different if I were like a dummy or whatever. If I were stupid, then I'd be like, "Oh, it's my fault."
Yeah.
That I couldn't keep up. I don't think it's because I'm stupid. I don't think I am stupid. I think y'all were doing too much and it wasn't necessary. And it just took away a lot of the nuance that the film could have had, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think they had a lot of scenes where those philosophical arguments or debates were drawn out. And I feel like, or something I think is it contributed to show how Andrew Garfield's character is viewed as this prestigious, professor who everyone's look up to. So I think I get why they did it to
Mm-hmm.
kind of show, why Io's character may have been hesitant, even Julia Roberts' character, just because of how good of a professor he was. But even then, I feel like that could have been one scene and that message
Exactly.
still could have got across. Because 2 hours and
Exactly.
19 minutes is bananas for this
It
film.
was actually bananas because I was like, my thing is, I also agree with that. Like, yes, I get it, but it could have been done better. I have never checked my watch so many times in a movie. Like, I literally was thinking, like, do I have to sit through it? But on principle, because I showed up, I like to stay for the movies I sign up to watch. But I didn't. I was held there against my will, basically. Um, do you feel like there's any is there anything else that you didn't like about the movie?
Um, I like the music, just not how it was almost the entire film. But I
Mhm.
did like the how it sounded. So maybe just here and there, maybe, at the end.
The
Um,
music was actually crazy.
yeah.
I saw a lot of people comment about that online, like talking about the music.
Yeah, but I liked it, just not where it was inserted.
That's fair. Or the volume of it.
Yeah.
It's like I need to focus on what's happening on the screen. I feel like for me, I just felt like this was a film that it just felt like such a try hard because I was like, I think this is important and it's upsetting me that you're upsetting me because I would like to invest into the story, but you're trying so hard to seem like so deep and like philosophical and like it just some of y'all might be mad at me, but it must be said. It comes off very like fake woke. This is an important conversation you can have in a very natural way, but it just felt like they were trying to seem like smart and deep and broody and philosophical. And it's like when they were discussing what was happening, even then, it didn't feel like a normal human way. I even before the assault even happened, y'all are not talking like normal human beings. Normal people don't just casually I where I work, I speak with people who have done school all their lives and they don't talk like that. They talk like normal people when it's not like an academic setting. So it's just like that once they after the assault, all of the conversations just felt like literally sitting in a philosophy class. And I just feel like you're not going to be thinking about like how to it just felt like they were spilling like dissertations here and I'm like, can we just talk about this girl and get her some help, please? It just felt like too deep, like you were forcing it to be deep when the content
Yeah.
the subject matter in and of itself was enough to like have depth. And because you didn't trust that, you forced this like deepness that came off very like aggressive. Like you said, you will walk away more woke than when you came in. That's how I felt watching that movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of crazy. It just felt
Yeah.
very forced. It wasn't natural. Nothing natural
Which
about
is
it.
kind of sad because it could have been a very great and important film, especially with all of them in it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they kind of fumbled because it was a great cast. This director normally, he normally does great work that I'm a fan of. He directed Call Me by Your Name. He directed Challengers, a few other movies that normally do very well and sit very well, and what he's trying to accomplish lands very well. So I don't know why this one didn't sit and come together, but I think
Uh,
again for me it boils down to you didn't let the movie speak for itself. You tried to spell out every little bit of it for me, and that distracted me from the point of the movie and the theme and in itself. It just felt like such an obvious like attempt at a think piece, and I don't like those. I want to think because you told a story so well that it forced me to think. I don't want you telling me to think. Is that okay to say?
Absolutely. Because it applies to this film.
It does.
Um, I mean, yeah, I think that describes it perfectly. He tried so hard to be philosophical, and deep on an issue where he didn't need all that.
Didn't
Um,
need it. You're talking about sexual assault. I promise you, like we would have walked away, moved if you just let it play out. You said no. You guys are gonna sit through multiple lectures, multiple debates, multiple multiple arguments, and I don't know. There was just a lot that came off as like again trying to be artsy and have this kind of tone to it that just didn't land correctly. You can tell even in just the way that the lighting was and like and I had nothing against the lighting. I'm just saying you can tell what they were trying to accomplish and like the tone that they wanted the movie to have, and it just felt really forced like the whole time.
but also going into it, I thought it was gonna be, I think, more of an intense drama. And that was another
Yeah,
thing for me. And I got in and it was very slow.
it was a boring movie. It was
Yeah.
boring.
Like from the description, I was gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be this professor who assaults his student and how she confides in, another trusted professor. And I think, and then the professor's dealing with, okay, do I trust the student? Do I go with this longtime friend that I've known? And then I think move after that, moving past like the drama of it and all the conflicts. But when I got in, it's just slow
Just
philosophy talk.
talking, bro. Just
Yeah.
talking. You're right. I think that everybody going into it thought what you thought. Like, oh, this is such an obvious and I don't even mind necessarily an obvious plot all the time if you do it well. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be pretty straightforward. But I trust the actors, I trust the director, I trust all these people, so I know I'm going to love it. And yet, I was so disappointed. It's one of those things where if they had gone about it in the way that you were talking about, then I think it wouldn't have been boring. I still don't think it would be something you can stretch over 2 hours, but I think we would have been able to sit and be engaged. There were so many times where I was just like, I don't care what's going on. And for something as heavy as a topic as sexual assault, for you to make this movie like you are I think they were trying to have an important conversation, but dare I say you did a lot of people harm by even making this because now we're annoyed. Like, because why would you? And my thing is, I saw a lot of people online arguing like, oh, people who didn't like it didn't get it, they didn't understand it. We understood it. It was just done poorly. That's okay to say. And it's a movie. It's okay for a movie to be about something important and still be a bad movie. It's nothing on the topic of sexual assault. It's not about that. It's about the fact that this was a bad movie. People make movies about sexual assault all the time, and they're better than this. And that's just
Uh,
tea.
yeah, but also I do think for a lot of people, it truly did boil down to all the philosophy. Like the way they were speaking about it, that is not going to make sense to a lot of people who are not interested in that or familiar with that. And as I said earlier, I feel like some of those, specifically one of them, and I can't exactly remember where it happens, was very critical to the overall like what was happening. And then I believe the conflict with like Julia Roberts' character and Andrew Garfield, and I just didn't get it.
It's because they weren't talking in like I literally don't even know what subject they teach. Like I don't know what class, what school are you in? What college are we in? That's how much I did not get it. It seems like it might have been philosophy related, but I just the fact that I can't even place like I can't even recite one part of it. Again, like you said, if you're not studying that in school, you're just not going to care. You're just not going to care. So why put it in the movie? And that's why they were like, you know what? Maybe they're right. The people who were like, oh, if you didn't like, you didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get that part of it. I understand the concept of the movie, but the dialogue, you're right. I didn't get it at all. And I just think it's a shame because there were some really cool pieces that they could have like investigated further. I know they spent the whole movie building up to like what is Julia Roberts' secret, only to reveal it, and then it kind of um I feel like they spent actually an appropriate amount of time on that because she had a scene with her husband and she kind of admitted to making like a false allegation, and he was like, no, that's still literally like statutory rape, like literally, so it's still a very serious thing. And I felt like that was a really cool part of the movie, like that conversation. um but yeah, a lot of it didn't make sense, and I feel like I hate when a movie tries to be quirky and it's not just actually like genuine. Like the husband being like weird didn't serve any of this other than to show that she is very different from her husband, and yet they have this marriage where they still like come together, comfort each other, find some kind of like way to make it work even though it's not
Yeah.
probably like ideal, whatever. I i get it. I get what they're trying to do, but you did not have to make him that weird. My thing is,
Yeah.
I have nothing
Yeah.
against him being weird. If he's weird, he's weird. But I'm saying because it's a movie, like if it were real life and I knew Julia Roberts and that's how her man was actually acting, I'd have no issue with it because it's like that's actually how he is. But because it's a movie, you sat down and you wrote this out, and I'd have to ask, like, what purpose does it serve? And also, it doesn't come across authentic. Nothing in this story comes across like authentic. It just feels like somebody said, hey, I want to make a movie about something important, and they made this, and it doesn't come off like sincere, like none of it. It just feels like AI. That's how I feel.
Chat GPT.
That's literally if I said, ChatGPT, can you write a movie about sexual assault in a university setting, like whatever? That's what they would write. I'm so serious. Like that's really why it's messed up.
Low key.
I will say though, that scene where Julia Roberts kind of like is on campus and that like mob circle kind of like surrounds her, people really found that
Oh
to be
yeah.
funny because it's just a lot. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, why? It's fine, but it's just like so. It just makes you want to roll your eyes, and I hate that. And I think everyone watching this just needs to like understand, like, we are reviewing the movie. We're not reviewing like the topic of the movie. So you just need to like
Yeah.
put it in perspective. But that scene made me roll my eyes. I'm like what now? Like, you know, and I just feel like again, here we go with the really dramatic, like again trying to make a point. It just feels like every scene is trying its best to make a point. And that's so annoying to me. Like, it just makes me roll my eyes as if I can't understand without you like throwing it in my face. Like,
Yeah.
so annoying. Well, I will say.
Okay. On to our next. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh, what were you gonna go for it?
No, I was gonna say, do you feel like the element or topic of race was missing, considering Ayo Idebri is black in the
Fascinating
movie?
question. Interest and in real life, yes. We I would say yes, actually, and I think that that plays into. I don't recall like if that came up like enough or if it was just something they touched on. I don't recall, but it wasn't enough for me to remember. And it definitely should have been a bigger part of it because realistically, like you have this black woman, um, making these allegations against a white man. Like, what do you think people are gonna think? And so I think it's one of those situations where they had an opportunity to touch on something. Like, this was one of the few times it would have been okay to say something. Like, again, like
Yeah.
I said, that conversation between Julia Roberts and her husband towards the end, like I thought that made a lot of sense to like walk us through that. This would have been another part of the plot where it would have been okay to walk us through that. They said No, we can all see that she's black and he's white. So you know how this is perceived. And it's like, no, that would have been valuable information and helping the plot move along as opposed to you talking about philosophy and banging your fist on tables. Like, you know, that's that's something that, yeah, I definitely agree with your point on that. So,
Yeah, I would say that's another area where it fell flat to me. And same, I don't recall it being mentioned, and if it was very little. But I once I when I was reading the description for the movie prior to it coming out and saying, "Oh, I want to see this," I thought that was also going to be a topic because on top of him being, you know, this prestigious professor, she's also a woman of color. And so I thought that was going to be a conflict as well and something that is touched on, but mm,
yeah. I don't remember it coming up in a notable way, but
yeah.
um disclaimer, we did watch this a while ago, so I mean we refreshed. We have our notes, but um it wasn't enough to be like any summary you look up, it's just not a part of it, so it must not have been a big part of the story. Um but yeah, well, it's clear we don't like it. But how much didn't we wait? It's clear that we have
Oh, oh,
feelings.
oh, can I do this part?
Yeah.
So, Kelsey, any final thoughts?
Sure. I would give this movie a
I haven't
what?
said that yet. I said any final thoughts. I'm going to say, so, Kelsey, any final thoughts? And you're going to say, no. What are the verdicts? And I'll say, felony, misdemeanor, and infraction or innocent.
Okay.
Okay. So, Kelsey, any final thoughts?
Nope. What are the verdicts?
Felony, misdemeanor, infraction, or innocent. And wait, I'm going to count to three and let's say what we think.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. One, two, three. Misdemeanor
Felony.
with chances for parole.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
A felony.
Yeah, I just don't. I literally didn't like anything about this. I would even say like Io, this isn't even her best performance. Like I just think across the board, I think Julia Roberts did really great. I think Andrew Garfield did really. I think everyone did great. I feel like I've seen Io do better. So I even as amazing as she and the cast are, I can't even really count on that. And so I just don't think I liked anything about this.
Okay, Io's acting,
Right.
because I feel like the script and the whole concept is, a little rough. So was it her acting or maybe like the lines?
90% the script and the screenplay. I would
Okay.
say 10% her, because I think I didn't like the script at any part, and I still think that Andrew Garfield, Julia Roberts, I still think they did like amazing. I just didn't like it, but I could recognize like good acting objectively.
Yeah. Okay. So I gave grace and was assuming there could be like a redemption, perhaps. Because like I
Perhaps
said,
not,
oh,
but go on.
okay. Hold on. Now I'm second
I just
guessing.
joking. Well, why did you say misdemeanor? I was just joking.
Well, because I think the topic is important, but as far as the movie and what we're actually um reviewing, I think it could hold on, let me think. I don't think it was a bad movie. I think there could have been some tweaks. Like for example, I personally enjoyed the music. It was just the placement of it and the volume of it cuz sometimes maybe I just have bad hearing, but it was hard to hear the actual lines and the actors. And then I think the concept and the topic, um, I truly think the director wanted to talk about something important. It just he went so far left with trying to be philosophical and deep that it overshadowed that. but I think when the parts when those wasn't there, I could follow, and I got enough of the conflict of Julia being like, well, okay, I've known him for this long and he's my friend, but her also wanting to support her student. So I think I am giving grace because while we totally just land on the film, I think it had some good points.
That's fair. That's fair. I agree with what you said. I can see why you gave it a little bit of grace. You're giving them grace because of their intentions. And
Okay,
I think that's fair.
now let's mix it up. The box officer's remix.
What?
We can't give the prisoner, he can't be a felony or and a misdemeanor, so we have to pick one.
Okay. Are you
Okay.
asking me to change my answer?
No, we have to, agree.
Okay. No, but I do sincerely agree with what you're saying. Like, I think that there was a genuine attempt there. I think it just was like every idea, if they had toned it down a bit and allowed us to kind of rely on nuance, then I think it would have went over really well. But they
Okay.
didn't. And so that's why I think I did not like it. But I think that I like it just felt like they were trying to spell it out for me, you know? And
Yeah.
I didn't need it all spelled out, and the parts that I did need spelled out weren't spelled out. But I mean, I guess I can agree. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of movies I dislike this much. I can I say a misdemeanor? Can I say a felony with a chance of do felons get parole? I don't know.
Do they? I don't know. Um,
What's in between a misdemeanor and a felony? I want them to have. What about a really, really bad misdemeanor, like the worst a person could get?
are there levels of misdemeanors?
I believe so. A class C misdemeanor.
Oh, okay. Class
That's
C
the
misdemeanor.
that's the best I can do.
I like it. After the hunt, you're going to jail for a Class C misdemeanor.
Yep, it's settled. Wow, wow. I'm so glad that we did this. We have a class C misdemeanor. It's
Is
official.
that a first for the box officers?
Class C misdemeanor.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, I don't recall ever saying that before.
Okay, period. Iconic.
Yeah, I mean we love an icon. You definitely
You have it
left your
here,
mark.
folks. A box officers first.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Um we can honestly say, Kennedy, that you have made your mark on the Box Officers podcast. This will not be forgotten. I'm sure of it.
Well, Kelsey, thanks for having me. And guys,
Uh,
comment down below if you want to see me on another episode.
Oh yeah. Well, I suppose they can exercise their free will. Absolutely. We've really enjoyed having you. We thank you for your sacrifice in watching and reviewing this movie. We know it took a lot. Would you like to tell the people what we're up to next?
Why, yes, Kelsey, thanks. If you like this episode, tune in next week where Kelsey, J-Pat, and Georgette will be reviewing Dead Man. Wait, what's it called?
Wake Up Dead Man.
Wake Up Dead Man. Okay, wake up. Thanks, Kelsey. And guys, if you like this episode, tune in next week where Kelsey, J-Pat, and Georgette will be reviewing Wake Up Dead Man.
Thanks, Ken. We'll definitely have to have you back on this show sometime. We really appreciate you coming in. And with everybody else, we hope to see you next week.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.